Hey everyone, and welcome to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. On today's video, we are going to be taking a look at a new game released for the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. We're also going to be taking a look at some updates for the iiRcade system and a clearance sale going on at QVC right now for some Arcade1up products. But before we get into all of that, if this is your first time checking out the channel, be sure to hit that subscription button. Click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video. Give this one a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you want to be part of the conversation. So now let's jump right in with a new game released for the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. So this is Pokemon Snap, originally released for the Nintendo 64. This game is basically the equivalent of an on-rail shooter, but instead of a gun, you've got a camera and you're tasked with taking pictures of the multiple Pokemon on the island. Now, this was a fun little game when it was released back in the day, and although it's a little bit short and on the repetitive side, if you're a Pokemon fan, then, you know, like I said, it's a fun little game to have. Now, what's more important here is not so much that we now have this game, but what it represents. Now, when the online expansion pack was first announced from Nintendo, we got a list basically of 16 games that we were expected to see come to it for the Nintendo 64. And with the release of Pokemon Snap, we have now seen all 16 games get released. So what does this mean for the service going forward? Well, I doubt that it means that we're not going to get any more N64 games. That seems highly unlikely. I mean, they want people to continue to pay for this service, to pay their $50 a year, and people aren't going to pay just for the same games, on the service, and that's it, just for 16 games. So I'm sure we're going to see more N64 games come to the service. It's just a matter of which ones and when. Now, we're still waiting to see if Nintendo's going to do a Nintendo Direct for this year. They did one earlier this week, but it was solely focused on Xenoblade Chronicles 3, a new game coming later this year. Will they do a more traditional Direct, which focuses on other games coming out later this year and early into next year? And if so, will there be any information on the Nintendo Switch Online service, including the expansion pack? Hopefully, we'll see some new games that are going to be coming to the service, possibly some new systems. I know there's been a lot of speculation about Game Boy and a Game Boy Advance games coming to it. So, we will just have to wait and see. All right, so moving right along, next up we've got some updates for the iiRcade system. Now, this is going to include 2 brand new games added to the system, 3 games that now have online support, and a firmware upgrade that hopefully fixes quite a few issues. So first up we have Trigger Dungeon, which is a game developed by a company called Redfold Games. And this is another one in that kind of modern retro style where it's a modern game but with a very retro feel to it. And I just call this a frustration game. I don't know what kind of actual genre this falls into, or platforming or whatever, but it looks like the object of this game is to try to make it out of the dungeon in a set period of time. And each time you die, you kind of go back a little bit and have to try again on the screen that you're on, and you will die over and over and over again, because it's just one of those games where just stuff just comes out at you. You have no idea what to expect next, and you're just going to die and die and die. And I got to tell you, this is just, like I said, the kind of game that would frustrate the crap out of me. But hey, if you are you like these style of games, if you like the challenge of this, then maybe this one is right up your alley. Now, this retails on their site for $3.99. Next up, we have War Room, an old ColecoVision game. And while I have a lot of nostalgia for ColecoVision as one of the earlier consoles that I ever owned, this isn't a game that I'm very familiar with. Based on the style, it looks like some kind of a strategy game, and it is very 80s Cold War feeling from the looks of it. Now, maybe that's more appropriate, again, in today's political climate. I don't know. I'm just going to leave that there. But if you like these kind of strategy games, whatever this is, maybe you'll be interested in this. And this retails on their site for $3.99. And iiRcade has also added online support to 3 existing games on their system, and those games are The Fighter, Karnau's Revenge, the side-scrolling beat-em-up Combat Tribes, and the sports game, or soccer game really, Big Striker. So if you are a fan of any of these games, if you already own these on your system, you can go ahead and try these out online now. And again, looks like we've got a fighter, a beat 'em up, and a sports game. So if any of those are your types of genres, give it a go. All right. If you don't own any of these and you would like to try them online, all three are available and they're all $9.99. And finally, iiRcade has also released a new firmware upgrade to their system, and this is system update 9.009.003. Now, they talked about this last week, that they were planning on releasing this with the hope that it would be available by this Friday, and it looks like they were able to get that out the door, so good news there. It also looks like this fixes a bunch of issues that several people have been complaining about. Prominently would be the exclamation point on the Wi-Fi not letting people connect. That looks like it's finally been resolved. Also, for you Canadian players who have been having trouble playing the online alpha, you should also be able to get online with this update. In addition to that, they've added things such as passcode locking to rooms during the alpha, some system keyboard layout and button improvements, improvements added for game downloads installs from the server, and additional backend changes and fixes for both Gold and Standard Edition software. So if you have not upgraded your system yet to this new firmware, go ahead and do so now, and you should hopefully see some changes and some fixes to any issues you were having. So moving on, the last thing we're going to look at today is a clearance sale going on at QVC for several Arcade1up machines. Let's take a look. So if you head on over to the QVC site right now and do a search for Arcade1up, you're going to find that they have several machines on sale right now, or actually on clearance as they put it. So we're going to start with the 10-game partycades. And while they did have the Defender partycade here, it does look like it's now no longer available, which is a shame because that is a great machine from what I've heard. I actually did order that yesterday. I found out about this sale late yesterday evening and was able to get the Defender because I've heard so many people talking about what a great machine it is, what a great partycade it is. Apologies that this video is getting to you guys a little late and that one looks like it's gone. You know, unfortunately, sometimes I gotta, shoot videos when I can, and I didn't have the chance to put it out before that one went away. So again, I apologize for that, but there are still other things available, so let's talk about those. And we'll start with, like I said, these partycades. One of the ones that they have is the Super Pac-Man, and this is one that I already own as well. I picked this up recently, I believe from Home Shopping Network. They had it for $150, but at $125, this is an even better price here. And I gotta say that I really do enjoy this machine very much. And if you want to know more about it, you can certainly check out my review on it. They also have the Ms. Pac-Man partycade and the Galaga partycade. Now, I'm going to stop at this one for just a minute and touch on it, because seeing that the Defender is no longer available, if I was going to recommend one of these, and again, even though I do have the Super Pac-Man one, it does have a lot of the same games that a lot of the 3/4 scale ones do. So if I was going to recommend one to somebody who didn't have it already, I would absolutely recommend the Galaga. Let me just zoom in for a minute and let's take a look at the games. And look, you've got Galaga, Galaxian, Galaga 88, and Ga Plus, which I believe this is the only machine from Arcade1up that has all 4 of these Galaxian/Galaga games on it. So that is a huge win right there. Then you've got King and Balloons, which we have seen before, Xevious, Bosconian, Moto's Dragon Spirit, move down a little bit, Dragon Spirit, and I don't even know what this last one is here. To be quite honest with you, I have no idea what that game is. Somebody tell me in the comments below. But I can tell you this much, it's not on any other machine from Arcade1up, so there's that. So you've got 10 games here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of which I believe are not on any other system from them. And you've got your typical control scheme down here. You've got dual speakers on these, and if it's anything like the Super Pac-Man, the speakers sound great on these little things. Nice monitor on these, light up marquee. So yeah, I mean, like I said, if you were going to snatch one up, this is definitely one to go for. And if you're interested in these, I would definitely suggest jumping on them quickly, because who knows how long they're still going to be available. Moving over, they've also got a couple of the 3/4 scale machines on clearance. And now these are not the brand new legacies, obviously, for this year. These are the previous versions. But they do have the Capcom Street Fighter II Legacy and the Bandai Namco Pac-Man Legacy. This is the full ones with light up marquees with the risers, all that. These are not the non-riser, non-light up Walmart type specials. And while they normally go for $500 on their site, they are $300. Now, yes, there is shipping and handling, there is tax. You're probably going to be closer to $350 by the time you're done with this. But they do offer this easy payment thing. So for somewhere between $60 and $70 every other week, you could definitely pick one of these up. So if you're in the market for a legacy cab, you're not interested in maybe the new ones that are coming out, and you haven't gotten either the Namco or the Capcom one that, you know, was the last ones available, this is definitely something to consider from QVC. Again, you know, I'm not trying to be a QVC spokesperson here, but, you know, these things do not last when they go up for clearance on their site. So if you have any interest at all, I would jump on them when you can. And there you have it. That is all the news that I have for you today. So we have a new game in Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack. We've got a bunch of new games and new online games on the Arcade system, plus that firmware upgrade, which, again, fingers crossed, hopefully fixes a lot of the problems that people have been complaining they've been having with their system lately. And finally, this QVC sale on these Arcade1up machines. So guys, leave me a comment below and let me know what you think of all this. Are you excited for the final N64 game to be on here? And what do you think they're going to do next? Let me know if you own an arcade system, if you've done this upgrade to the firmware, if you've done this firmware upgrade, I should say, and if it has fixed some of your problems. And let me know what you think about the new game and the new online games. And finally, this sale at QVC. Are you going to be picking up any of these machines at these prices? As always, let me know. And that's it for this one. I will see you guys again in the near future. Have a great day.